It's really funny actually, as in the last few weeks, heaps of people have actually personally messaged me asking me for advice on what to wear while they play and how to have presence behind the deck. So it is funny because I don't actually see myself as that fashionable, but I actually feel I can give you some practical advice that's going to really help you. So firstly, be warned, at the end of the video I may go into a little bit about the spiritual when it comes to the presence side of things. But before I do, okay, here are some things to consider about what to wear when you play. Now, okay, I feel you can approach this question in so many ways. So for instance, okay, what's practical? What looks cool, right? Perhaps even taking a branding angle. So for instance, maybe some people wear a mask or a costume or, something that could complement like your branding goals and make you stand out and easier to remember. Or perhaps you just want to wear clothes that, you feel comfortable in. Now, me personally, I always went down the practical path, and that is either wearing black quite often or sometimes even singlets, right? Pretty much to hide sweat. As let's face it, quite often, right, when you're playing in clubs, it gets hot, and if they have lighting like on you, which quite often they do, it can get really hot. And add to that, right, the pressure of playing live, and the nerves that come with that pressure. All in all, after your set, your shirt could be like drenched with sweat. Now, a black t-shirt, that's going to hide that better. And sometimes, just despite how it may or may not have looked to others, I did wear singlets. But in saying that, I did always work out. So a good body in a singlet, it was okay. I'm just joking. But anyway, however, I do suggest, right, if you plan to hang out and network after your set, that you always take a spare shirt and maybe even some deodorant. Now, another route you could do is dressing in association with your brand. So for instance, wearing a mask is hugely popular, and it has the added benefit of taking away how you may feel about your personal appearance, okay? And personally, okay, I'm not gonna judge anyone for wearing masks. Like, it can be cool, there's no doubt. And for me personally, I did like wearing beanies, I guess for two reasons. One, I was a little bit paranoid about going bald, and two, I actually liked the way they felt, and I've always felt really comfortable in them. I felt that was like my lucky beanie, I had some good associations with that. And I think that's another thing to consider too, and that is, what you're comfortable in wearing. So if you feel comfortable and confident, you're probably more relaxed when you play, and this may actually affect the way that you play. Now, at the end of the day though, I think people, especially when playing in clubs or social events, they're probably more focused on themselves anyway and who's looking at them than judging your appearance. And as long as you're playing the right tracks for the event and contributing to the atmosphere, I'll be honest, no one really cares. You can just wear whatever you're comfortable in. So, but here's the thing. Sometimes having distinguishing features does help. So for instance, I know a lot of girls that have dyed their hair, and honestly, it probably makes them more memorable and perhaps even more relatable to other people that kind of have an alternative edge, for instance. Or sometimes maybe even having tattoos may contribute to your image. But I actually think the most important thing is that it looks like you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself. That's actually probably what I'm looking for the most when I'm looking for DJs. So for instance, in Australia, right, I quite often do some charity work in outback regional areas, and I've taught dozens of Aboriginals and local street kids how to DJ. And last time I went out to Canamble, it's pretty cool, right? I put together this contest, so mainly to inspire the kids to turn up every day for the DJ training. And I said, okay, at the end of the week, I'm going to throw an event and the winner will get free decks, okay? Now, I had about a dozen kids DJing at a really good standard. They were smashing it, but what I didn't take into account was nerves. So when it came time for them all to play, they often fell apart. Now, most of them wore caps and they had their heads down the whole time. They did not look up once, nor were they engaging with the crowd at all. And it actually kind of made the energy in the room feel really awkward. And then one girl, right, she came on and she had fun. She was just as talented as everyone else, but she started singing along with the track. She held her head up high. She made eye contact with different people. She smiled and she connected with the crowd. And when it came time to pick a winner, well, the judges was unanimous. She was the undisputed winner. She just had energy. So just remember this quote, right? Oops. So an ounce of image is worth a ton of performance. And if you're playing live and want the crowd to enjoy themselves, then you should lead by example and also enjoy yourself. Now, Anthony Robbins, right? If you haven't heard of him, he's this self-proclaimed leading self-help guy in the world. And he talks all about physiology, okay? And how the way you hold yourself affects your mood. And there was also this TED talk about confidence, which shared similar views. So for instance, they say, if you're like, standing, you're hunched over and you're looking down, it contracts your energy. And then with that comes these feelings of doubt and insecurity and sadness and stuff. But let's say you push your chest out a little bit, you got your shoulders back, you're looking up, hands up, you're rocking out. And perhaps they talk about this superhero kind of stance. And apparently it opens your energy. And there were these experiments, right, where these people did these superhero stances for 5 minutes before interviews. And the interviewees responded heaps more positively to them, right? So this goes down, I guess, the path of that your energy is always introducing you. And if you expand your energy, people will probably respond better to you. So, okay. Now, personally, I, before shows, used to do a lot of deep breathing before my sets to balance my energy. But I think there's something to the idea of faking it till you make it. And if you are nervous, my advice would be start with a track that you like, put yourself into a good state, smile, jump around and get into the music. And when I see DJs having fun, to be honest, right, it's infectious as opposed to the majority that are probably just nervous, right? But the sad thing is those nerves are quite often interpreted as those people just taking themselves too seriously. So F that, man, life's too short. Get into the tracks, look up. And if you're doing live streams, try and look at the camera from time to time, and perhaps even, God forbid, right, smile, okay, connect with people. People say I smile too much, and I'll be honest, right, they say I was born with a coat hanger in my mouth, but the truth is, I don't think about it, but I do know one thing, and that is, I've always tried to bring a childlike wonder to the way I look at life, and I never think too long on issues, and I do try and think about solutions. It's just life's too short. I've practiced that. So I guess they say there's two types of people: big people with small problems and small people with big problems. So if you have big problems in your life, you've just got to grow. And that's not going to be by focusing on everything that's going wrong. Instead, decide what you want. Think, how would it feel to have what you want? And adopt that energy now and allow your goals to come through you as an expression of who you are, as opposed to, oh geez, I want this, I want that. In which case, you may be sabotaging yourself and pushing your goals even further away. So if you want something, right, it's saying to the world, I guess, you don't have it. So instead, start to recognize what you already have and recognize the qualities you want to express as qualities you have already, and you live into your dream. And let's say you're playing, right, and you have one person in the crowd rocking out to you. Stay present and be grateful for that one person and the experience. And perhaps maybe it might even motivate you to promote your shows a little harder in future. And if you look deeper, quite often it's the darkest moments that actually bring the most liberating changes. See, I remember once, right, I launched a club and I put so much work into it, only to have about 20 to 50 people, under 50 people turning up to this opening night. Now, instead of me focusing on what was wrong, I connected with all of them. I made them feel like the club was family, and within 6 months, that club was getting crowds of 800 plus on a weekly basis for about 5 years. So it's about persevering and focusing on what you want. See, I suggest celebrate everything. And when you play, commit to enjoying yourself no matter what happens. And dare I say, look up, smile, and if you don't feel confident, fuck it, right? What does confidence feel like anyway? And instead of thinking, oh, I should be more confident, recognize the areas in your life you are already confident and carry that feeling across into your DJing and release the importance you're giving everything. When you think about it, right, every experience is just an opportunity to grow. So just enjoy the process, man. Have fun. I guarantee you. Now, anyway, I know sometimes I go on these tangents, but deep down, right, DJing is more than just talent. It's honestly a mind game. And quite often by DJing, right, you're going to put yourself into situations where you're going to be forced to grow. And sometimes that's not comfortable, but it can also be life-changing, okay? And I've lived, honestly, such a great life as a DJ slash promoter. And I know you've got this. And do you want me to tell you how I know? Because you're still watching, right? And you haven't flicked away to search for the next big thing, constantly searching, right? So stay present. Enjoy yourself no matter what. And recognize what's already good and look for the good in everything, right? Now, that's all you need to do. And if you're rocking a beanie because you hate your hair or you just feel comfortable in a beanie, right? Or like this, you know, awesome, man. If you want to color your hair or if you want to wear a singlet, no one cares. But having fun, being respectful and doing what you can to support the events and the community that you're part of, that's honestly everything. Okay, I know I go on at times, but thank you, okay? Occasionally I do videos like this as I feel it splits up the same content that you're kind of seeing everywhere. And I actually get real joy from sharing my experience with, I guess, like-minded people. So I know I say welcome to the tribe a lot, but the truth is, I actually feel there really is a club-ready tribe. It's happening, it's growing, it's building. And to see the successes of my students, now DJs, it's really inspiring for me. So thanks again for all your support. And just coming back to topic quickly, if you have your own idea on like brands, like this is a good one, right? Or what to wear when you play or how to be more confident behind the decks, share it in the comments below. I love hearing all about your stories, and in many ways, it gives me ideas for future videos, just like people are giving me this idea, okay? Just have some fun with yourself, okay? It's all less important than we think, it really is. Anyway, thank you. And this is my best friend, by the way, Mickey, my first ever dog. I've only, you know, she's about 5 now, but you know, I love her. Anyway, yeah, give me a kiss. Yeah, my baby. See ya.